All right, we got something different today. This is from the 50s or 60s. I looked it up. It's the V-35C, so 350. The stamp's a little old on it. You can come around and take a look if you will. Here, right here. V-35. It looks like a C, but then you look closer and it's like, no, that's a Z, that's a O, I think, or a 0. Slide action BB air rifle, patent pending. I hope by now that patent was approved, because again, 50s, 60s. This was my dad's BB gun. It is very old. Unfortunately, somewhere along the way, probably while in my possession in the closet, the rear sight got knocked off. So, you know, keep an eye out for it, but I might have to fabricate a replacement of sorts, or look online and see if I can find that part. But being so old, I might not have much success. You'll also see it's got a little bit of sheen left on there from the original finish. Not much though, which is good, because I'll just apply this this Tung oil right over the top of that, and there's enough exposed wood that it'll be able to absorb in. So let's take a look at this. I also have some regular old air tool oil. It's an air rifle, so I'm going to drip some of that air tool oil in there. Highly technical process here of taking an old army towel and get a little bit of oil on there. Let's see what this does to the finish here. If there's much of a visual change right away. We'll put a little bit of life back into the wood, because there's a small crack that's developed, and that's because it's really dried out. You can see right here if you look close. There's a little crack right there, and when the wood dries out like that, it gets brittle. So I'm going to put this Tung oil in there. And it kind of cleans it as you rub too. Kind of wish I'd used a white towel. You'd be able to see some of the dirt come off of that. And you don't have to be careful, of course, you know, with the Tung oil. If you get it on the barrel, it's good for the barrel. So I'm going to go ahead and rub it right on that barrel too. Give the whole thing kind of a nice little bath. Nothing like using a tractor bucket as a workbench, right, camera lady? Mm. It's actually a nice day except the humidity. It's pretty humid out, isn't it? I can see it just like soaking it up. Make sure we get the butt. That looks nice. I like how old school it looks too. Old fashioned parts, the trigger well and everything. Very, very antique looking, because, well, it's kind of an antique at this point. What I'm going to do for these is I'm actually going to take my finger and drip a little right into those screw wells. And what would work well is if you had like an old toothbrush, you could brush those down in there. I'm just going to let it go down in there. A little more for this one, a little deeper. Let gravity take it down. And then what I'll do is use the towel to suck it back out of there. So it's all the way down in. Give it a second to soak, and then I'll dab the excess right out. Boy, where I applied some already, it's already kind of drying back up. The rest of that will dry out on its own, but looks good. Now, slide action. What is that, slide action? It's kind of like pump action for a shotgun. I guess that's what they were going for here. So let me get my little bit of oil. This is where you're supposed to put your oil in. A little dab'll do ya. Of course, I don't know when the last time a dab was put in this thing, so I'll do a dab on each of these points. Of course, a couple of them are just the holes for the rear sight there, but there we go. Looks better already, I think. I have to rewind the video to see what it looked like at the beginning versus now, but I think it looks pretty good. Now, just for demonstration purposes, we'll throw a few BBs in here. I have no doubt that it'll still fire. I say fire. It's not a firearm. See if it'll still shoot these things. That's enough. Alright, so this is what they mean by slide action. Isn't that cool? I mean, could you imagine being a kid, if you were like my dad in the late 60s or mid 60s, I guess, and you got one of these, maybe for your birthday or something. What should we shoot at? Should we just shoot this bucket at an angle? See if you can see. No, stay right there. See if you can see. Somebody might have to put it on slow-mo or something. Can you get me and the thing in the picture? Making sure it doesn't ricochet back at me. Ready? Oh. Okay, that's right. I remember as a kid, you used to have to bring it back. It won't load one unless it's tipped backward. If it's forward, it won't load it. Pretty cool. Now, without that rear sight, can't aim too well. Let's see if I can pick a spot out. Oh yeah, you can kind of imagine where the sight was, but yeah. It's a cool Google, actually. If you Google it, do a little research, it's kind of a neat bit of information on this old thing, but it's got a cool patina to it. Anyway, again, this was the Victor-Tree Fife. I believe that's an Oscar or a 0. It might be a C. Slide action BB air rifle, patent pending. Pretty cool. Have a good one.